I am gonna find the perfect way to incorporate this. I don't know if I want to start speaking before or after. Play for a little bit. Can't wait to actually get some more equipment. Have a whole little beginning. This could be a lot more. Let's try it. And welcome back, everybody, to episode 108 of Communities Connected. Here I am again, just goofing around, trying to see how I can spice up the show a little bit. I've been having fun learning how to do this, how to put equipment. I've never really, I've seen a mic before, I've seen a camera before, but to use it for a certain way, it's interesting to me. It's Wednesday. I'm losing track of days again, guys. Wednesday, April 3rd. That's kind of late. I'm sorry about this. It's been quite a different schedule change. As I told you guys, switching jobs, experimenting with what I want to do, seeing what skills I can pick up. And through that journey, the more I talk about what I say yes to constantly, for people that have seen me before, you guys know I say yes to a lot of things. I'm not crazy saying yes, but, to ways I can learn, I'm quick to say, sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. And with that certain lifestyle, I've been kind of learning. And one thing I'm told is that I have leader qualities. I don't do this to pat my own back. I'm not trying to make myself feel better. But I feel like we can all definitely get ways to get leader qualities. I can say the way I carry myself every day type thing is really thanks to my mom, thanks to people all around me, people I still meet today. It comes out of that. It's not just I was born like this or I'm perfect even to this point. To this point, I still make plenty of mistakes. Go back an episode, 2 episodes ago. It was definitely last episode. I didn't make an episode yesterday. I'm sorry. Go to last episode. I messed up big time. If you guys weren't trying to catch up, it took me 4 shots to get it right. Today, I tried to be a little more prepared. We had the music go right. So we're doing well for today. And that's the thing, through things that I've learned through all my mess ups, I've just been okay with knowing I'll mess up. You guys have heard me preach that day in, day out. Sometimes I annoy myself about it, but I feel like if I don't remind myself every single day, I'm going to lose that will to want to try. It's not that the only thing that makes me want to try, but I know it's something that now it's not going to stop me from trying, because if I constantly am afraid of being wrong, I'm going to be less willing to try. I'm just going to be nope, I don't want to put myself in a situation. People are going to see me fail. That's not where I want to be seen. I want to make sure that if someone sees me do something, I'm going to be shining. We all know that's not the case. That is never going to be the case. There's going to be times where you will get that case. You're going to look like a phenomenal star. Awesome. But I feel like where you really learn is when you have those struggles, when you're just really trying to figure something out and it's just fighting you back as much as you're trying to figure it out. So with that being said, that's what's got me to where I am, why people would categorize me under having leadership qualities. Okay, I'm not trying to kiss my butt. But what I feel has gotten me there is the opportunities I put myself in front of me. And when those opportunities come up, the reason I'm saying yes is because I want to show up to new opportunities. And that's kind of really what I want to hit on at first, is making sure, be in the mindset that you're going to show up. You're not just going to show up physically, but you're going to show up mentally. School is a different case. I wasn't always a star in school. Some classes I could show leadership qualities. Some classes I'd just be goofing around. Again, we all have our flaws. We all will goof around. But it was when the things that I wanted to be in, 3 seconds, the things I wanted to do, I would show up physically and mentally. When you show up physically and mentally, it means you're ready to learn. You're there to do what things you enjoy to do. And I apologize, my dogs are going crazy. We're all tired. They're energetic tired. This happens a lot. But what I will do is I will actually show up mentally, so I know why I'm going there. I have told myself, this is what I want to learn today. This is what I want to do. I don't have a certain type of crazy freedom. I'm not saying every single day I'm trying different things. I've started to learn and see when I have time. So when I decide to do something, I'm going to show up. Boom, now I'm there physically. because I am there, I want to make sure I'm learning, and I want to make sure everyone around me is learning. If I'm not there mentally and I'm just there physically, you have a chance of stunting your own growth, And it's something where you're learning as a group, or most things you'll learn as a group. We all have been in a situation where there's just somebody who isn't there mentally. And I'm not saying they're dumb in any case, but they've just showed up to a place to show up, and you can tell they don't exactly want to be there. So they're like putting things off, and you'll ask them and they're still trying to put it off. So showing up mentally is, you're there with a presence. You're not just, you could be like a shelf, shelf is there physically. Mentally, maybe. We can't really see, hear, think what that wood is, if it's thinking anything. But with a person, you don't want that. You don't want to be like, what is he, she feeling? You want to make sure you're there mentally. So as I'm learning, I'm going to be there mentally. I'm going to be there observing. I'm going to be there asking. And that's something I constantly will preach. And it's a little bit more in there. So as you're there mentally, mentally means you're also going to speak up. Again, back to asking. When you speak up, you're going to let your voice be heard when you have questions, especially when you have questions. You have to get comfortable asking questions. I keep preaching this because it's important, because I'm constantly making sure when I want to learn something, I'm not afraid to ask questions. And actually, to me, it's actually been a great week, especially with that fail. Again, I can give you a pure example of how I failed. Most times I'll give you an example. I'm telling you a story of what happened, how it happened. Here's my example. So failure, watch that episode. Keep watching that 5 minutes. It's just horrendous. I kept messing up. I'm pretty sure the rest of the episode, I just kept making mistake after mistake. So again, perfect example, messing up. Watch other episodes, cameras falling. We've all messed up. Now, when you're asking, I can't really give you examples of when I'm asking questions because I'm not recording 24/7. But so back to story. Twice this week, I've been training for a new job, and I've actually been able to train jiu-jitsu. It's put me like on a tight schedule, but I'm trying. All we can do is try. And through those things at work and while I was at practice, I had 2 times where I asked what I would almost consider dumb questions. But as I asked them, it put a halt to I apologize. It put a halt to like everything was going on. And the instructor kind of realized like, okay, now I see where the question is. They're like, whoa, hold up. I'm now getting why I'm seeing error, and not error in the wrong way, but I'm seeing why it's not clicking for everybody. They pointed me out. He just asked this question, and I'm okay when I go point it out, especially for a question, whether I feel like it's an intelligent question or a dumb question. To me, a question is a great question. Question is a question. Just got to get it answered. So I'll just ask. I'm not exactly getting what you're saying. Can you repeat that? Awesome. Now that's what you mean? Cool. I'm okay just repeating my question, and I'll find like a different way to make sure I'm wording it to how I want to be answered, depending on my understanding. And based on my questions, they'll really see my understanding. So both those times there was my question, I asked it, stopped everything, they addressed everybody. And then after that, everybody started just adjusting better. And, it takes that dumb question for everyone to go, oh, okay. So that's where I've gotten to. And I'm not always been perfect at this. I've slowly been getting a lot better at being this way. But in school, I would shy up. I wouldn't ask those dumb questions. And now I'm realizing how important most of those dumb questions are. Because a lot of times when I didn't ask, I didn't understand. And if I would have started this process sooner, I would have probably understand a lot more. But I didn't. We all mess up. So both those times I asked my dumb question and everyone started doing better. Great. Now, see how it feels to ask that dumb question, get an awesome answer, and you see how much it helps everybody. To me, it's great to ask. And even if someone asked it themselves and you still basically understand it, you might realize you're understanding it even more because of that said question. And it doesn't matter how obvious the answer seems, you will have times where you just can't think of the obvious question to ask that's going to help you best. You just need someone else to ask it. That's okay too. So whether you have the obvious question, just ask it right away. Doesn't matter how unsure you are, just to ask questions. I'll get back to that part in a second. Another thing, as you learn how to ask, as you learn I'm going to just put it as learn how to question, You're going to question anything you don't understand, and also learn how to question your leaders. I feel like as we keep growing, we keep learning, we got to make sure. I'm going to morph on my second note. Sorry, you guys don't see my notes, but I want to make sure that we question our leaders, and also we got to learn to pick our leaders. Those are two very important things. As we keep learning, you got to make sure who your leaders are. Is this person telling you the right things? Are they telling you the best way you can do it? It doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're learning. You want to make sure you find the best way to learn. That's something I was actually kind of hitting on earlier is, you got to make sure you learn how to learn. And that's not something we've ever really talked about. That's something that was brought on, and pretty soon I'll fully dive into that. But kind of leading more into that is learning to learn is you got to learn how to pick your leaders. Just because someone's told, hey, this person is going to be a leader, doesn't exactly mean that's the right leader for you. If that's the only leader, all right, maybe this position is not for you. See if there's another avenue. See if there's a better way you can question this leader so they understand how to understand you. It's weird. But so going back to your leaders is, I think when you have a leader, or if you are said leader, you should be open to all questions. You should be open to someone questioning you. You should be open to questioning your leader. It's all back and forth. So, and this is why I think people see me as a leader. And when I talk to someone that's leader type, they feel comfortable with me because I'm not afraid to question them. If they tell me to do something, I'll be like, okay, am I doing it because of this? Again, my brain is working as you're being told to do this. Julio, understand why you're being told to do this. There's a reason they're doing this. And it's okay to sometimes, God, I have a dog hair in my nose. I apologize. When you're being told to do something, you're being told to do it, especially for like jobs. Again, right now I'm just talking about jobs. You can tie it into jiu-jitsu, but when you're being told to do something, you're being told because someone has gone through some sort of experience where this is what they figured out to get it solved, or maybe this is the method that is best to solve it. There's some situations where you have to follow such instructions. There's some situations where the instructions, are pretty open and vague. Again, math class for me, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. You can be put in a situation. There's different avenues you can take out. It's not just one linear way out. Some take work, some take less work, some are medium amount of work. Just all going to depend. So as a leader, you got to understand that some people aren't going to understand when you tell them one way. So what's your job? Your job would be to question your leader. Hey, I've been trying to explain it this way. Do you know another way to explain? Again, it's all learning how to question each other. It's not who's really on top. It's we're all eventually going to have some sort of leader, some sort of figure. Even if they're not directly told that's your leader, I feel like you should find leaders. You should find role models for you that can influence you, that can help you learn, teach you how to learn. And as you do these things, again, you're going to pick them out. You're not just going, oh, this person is successful, I'm just going to make sure I follow them 100%. If that's the kind of road you take, that's the road you'll show. So the reason I go about this way is I'll question everything. Do this. Okay, am I doing it because of this? Yeah, that's exactly it. Glad we understand. As you learn to ask, people are going to feel more confident around you. There's something, if you've ever had a problem with confidence, I would definitely recommend asking. I'm not going to ever tell you what to do, what you should be doing. I'm not right. This is just what I experience, how I treat situations. So if you want people to feel confident around you, kind of see you in the light of he'll know or she'll know what they're doing, ask. Because when you ask, they're going to have your understanding. If you just take yes, and you just do said thing, they can trust you to do it. But what if it comes to a situation where they now want you to be a leader because you are so good at it? Do you have the skills to teach someone? Or are you just doing it because you were told to and that's all you're going to teach someone else? When you ask, you'll find out, is there different ways to solve this problem? Or is this one of the situations that it's only linear how to solve? And when you're asking, when you're questioning your leaders and you find a different avenue, now they're going to be like, oh, This is a person who can actually think their way out of something without being told, without having to be like, okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Don't be afraid to take charge sometimes. Sometimes taking charge, and even if you mess it up, be like, hey, I came across this problem I thought I could figure out. Turns out I was wrong. Best case scenario, they're just going to laugh at you. That laughter is like a laughter of relief. I figured out when people kind of laugh at you when you mess up that first situation, most of the time when they're laughing, it's like a laughing proud, because most people would just stop and go, all right, now what do I do next? Now what do I do next? Now what do I do next? Not, if you're that type of person, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I'm just saying if you want to improve on how to be a leader, how to be seen as a leader, I keep putting quotes because if you missed the earlier part, we all have a potential to be a leader. We all will have leaders. So back to questioning your leader. As you keep questioning them, they're going to feel confident with you. And then if you're finding different routes to solve problems, again, they're seeing what kind of critical thinker you are. Don't be afraid to be that critical thinker. Sometimes stepping out of the bounds where someone else might have not have is best, because that will show you have initiation. Maybe that's not even the best word, but it's going to show that you have the will to try to venture out. And if it's a big problem, obviously ask. I'm not saying just try to solve everything, be a hero by yourself. Figure out what you can handle. Some things that seems simple enough to figure out. That seems dumb to figure out myself. That's also being part of a leader, seeing how far, it's not your knowledge, but how far you feel confident stepping out of your comfort area to solve a problem. And then when it's not that your situation, step out of that, making sure someone does with a specialty. That will show plenty of leadership, because it shows you're not just naive. There's a certain point of curiosity that makes you, I don't want to say dumb, but being too curious can just get you in danger. Okay. So there's certain levels of, I think we all know what I'm trying to say, but learn just how far you can ask, how far you can question. That almost seems like, again, the eventually will hit a question is not dumb, but you will hit an action that should have been a little more obvious, that, it's okay to not be a hero right now. But when you question your leaders, if your leader is not okay with you questioning them, find a different leader. That's my next best advice, is keep venturing for leaders. And even if you have great leaders, try to add one more. Don't flood yourself with trying to just meet new people, but make sure the leaders that you have are the ones that are keep pushing you, are the ones that are keep challenging you in your comfort zone. Don't find the ones that are just going to try to break your back. That's not also healthy. You all got to find within yourself, and you got to learn how to push people. Some people are able to be pushed farther than others. Nothing wrong with that type of learning either. We're all different learners. Finding how you learn is going to be very, very important. And finding how to teach based on how you learn too is very important. But yeah, don't be afraid to change that role model. Don't cuss someone out. Don't just call them stupid, blah, 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 blah. If you're having problems with your leader, back to what Gonzalo said one day, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. So if they're not your leader for you, don't just blow up on them. Man, all your advice is just dumb. You're just the worst person in the world, blah. Not necessary. Just be like, hey, man, I know you're trying hard. I'm really trying hard to work with what you're saying, but, maybe because you don't agree with what they say, how they teach, whatever, I just don't think this is going to be the best scenario. Is there another way to move me to a different group? Or is there someone else who can teach me, just because I can't exactly get how you're teaching me? And that's not something wrong to say. That's not exactly saying if you're a bad teacher, you shouldn't be teaching. It's just, I'm not understanding how you're teaching. So is there another possible way to learn this? Or is this really the only direct way? I'll do my best with what I can. Learn how to get out of situations. Don't just force yourself out of situations. Don't just burn bridges behind you. And you'll see that as you go throughout that route, people are going to start feeling confident with you because of how you handle situations and how you go about certain things. That's against still just handling situations. But people will see that, okay, I'll be all right, that I don't have to just constantly be behind them, making sure they're doing every single step. And you don't want to have just that confidence of, okay, he's just going to do exactly what he says, because that can also stunt your growth. Yeah, you're doing everything right, but realize if you want to go farther, that you absolutely have the ability to go farther. Just start asking. And that's really going to be my ending note with leading with example, is just learn how to ask in general, speak up, show up mentally, physically. Everything will go better. You'll learn better and you'll teach better. We all got to be all in the same. And when someone's underneath you, ask them as well. That's actually one of my best things I've done when I've been in a teaching role, is when someone's underneath me, I ask them sometimes even that obvious question. And sometimes I'll be like, dude, why'd you even have to ask that? I was just making sure I fully understood it too. And I'm glad you do as well. That was the answer I was thinking, but I've always kind of had the question. And even if it's still a question, go ask your leader, and that's going to teach them, hey, when you're in teaching role, it's okay to figure things out with that teacher. It's okay that they can know even more, because I think when we get sometimes put in teaching position, some of us get it way over our head that, oh, I'm the teacher. It's going to be my way. Anyone that I'm teaching is underneath me. That's not the case. They are sometimes even just as knowledgeable as you, and you got to give them the opportunity to show that. And when they do show it, and sometimes they know something more than you don't take that the wrong way. Now dig into what they know, see how much more they know, because you guys can learn from each other. Things can work better. That's the best thing I've done, is working with those people. And when they knew more than me, awesome. What more do you know? Because that's going to help me out how to teach. And because I know you know this, I can count on you to teach sometimes, We all get busy. It's good to have backup. And don't be afraid to just be a teacher and be taught. Hopefully you guys have an awesome Wednesday. It's getting kind of late. I'm going to be getting to bed soon. And possibly tomorrow, but for sure, I want you guys to tune in Saturday. I'm going to be having one of my other coaches from Fearless coming in. It's going to be great. New face. You guys haven't seen him before on the show. People from Fearless, you guys have. So I'm going to have one of my coaches, friends, coming in Saturday, 11 a.m. noon, I believe. So I'll fully make sure, jot it down on the page, and we'll definitely see you guys Saturday. Have a good night, guys.